What's up, everybody? Mark Fleetwood here. Welcome back to the Daily Grind Trader. Today, we're going to take a deep dive into ADA, also known as Cardano. Stick around. It's going to get interesting. Alright guys, looking at ADA on the daily chart. This crypto has been in a steady uptrend pretty much since the start of 2021. It's been in a steady uptrend. Even prior to that, it was up, but I think the numbers were so low in comparison that it just looks flat. But we're going to start at 2021, right? Start here in January. It's been constantly up, consistently up. This has been a moneymaker for a lot of people who have bought into it. You can see the trend here. You see these big periods of upswings, then down, upswing, then down, upswing. And these are standard, healthy retracements. There's nothing wrong with that. It's part of people taking profit. If you bought in here at 29 cents, top of this peak here, it's 91 cents or 95 cents, and there's nothing wrong with you taking profit there. And that's why you have these retracements. That's what happens. People who have been investing start to pull profits out of their holdings. And same thing here, bounces up, goes up to 113 here. The candle finished at 111, and people take profits, drops back down, so on and so forth. It's a repeating cycle. Something interesting did happen here, though. I'm going to zoom in on an hourly chart and kind of show you what's been happening in the past couple of days. Hey, look at that. I made a daily chart readable. Wow, I'm a genius. Look at that. See, this is why this is not financial advice. This is why I'm not a financial advisor. I can barely make a chart work. Enough self-deprecation. Looking at this, some news happened with Cardano, and I typically don't worry too much about news, but certain news can be very can create volatility. Cardano recently was listed on Coinbase, and that's huge news for any coin, for cryptocurrency. Coinbase is very selective in what they choose to list, but it didn't have the effect that people thought. It sold hard. It's been on an uptrend, big uptick here. I think these two big uptrends here were when it was rumored or confirmed that it was going to be on Coinbase. I don't have the timeline exactly right in my head. I'm not 100% sure. I'm sure there were some rumors prior, people buying up, and then sold heavily. So I'm going to be honest with you guys. I thought for sure this wick here, I can zoom in a little bit on this too. This thing took a lot of people's money. This sell wick that sold down to 117 at the low, that broke a lot of stop losses for a lot of people, and took a lot of money. Savvy traders won big on that single wick. There are a lot of people who are very unhappy right now. But moving forward, I bought in on this wick, closer to the top of it. Once it had already made that dip, I think I bought in at 220 or $1.22, 122.5 or something in that range. I can double check that later, because again, I'm going to use a Fibonacci retracement. And while this wasn't what I would call maybe not a natural retracement because of the news, that broke the 61.8 just for a minute. I believe someone in my trading group said they lost $4,000 in 6 seconds because they couldn't delete their stop loss fast enough to stop this wick. They lost $4,000 in 6 seconds. It's insane to me how powerful one single down wick can be. But enough about that single wick. I saw the uptrend, saw the retrace, and 61.8%. I love that position. I love seeing that get hit so that I can buy in. And it did something interesting. It pulled a move very similar to Mana on me, and I may have to double back and take a look into my strategies because it traded up slightly and it went back down. So what I'm hoping for, and this is what makes this interesting, is that this has the potential to be a double bottom breakout. So I'm hopeful now with the Fibonacci that this point, the 119 is going to be the bottom, and it looks like it tapped it there. Yeah, this wick, the low 118.8 on the wick, opened at 119.8, dropped down to 118.8, and then closed at 122. There's a big sell or a big buy wick here, bouncing off of that support, bouncing off that point of support. So after seeing the double bottom, as long as it doesn't drop below, I say 117 to 115 range, I'm going to stay in. I'll set a stop loss at 115. But I think this could very easily be a double bottom, or maybe even a triple bottom. It could bounce up and triple bottom again. But I am very much with the mindset that there is something, for lack of a better term, unnatural, holding this price down, making that massive dip, keeping it low right at the point where it got listed on Coinbase. Maybe Coinbase had some big investors that might be trying to scoop this coin at the lowest possible price, get as big of a bag as possible. Maybe Coinbase themselves are getting a larger amount of them. I'm sure they were already buying prior to listing them. Obviously they're going to have a supply before they list them, but that's neither here nor there. There's something keeping this price low, and I believe it's going to bounce up beyond the previous high here of 147. And if we look at the retracement from the trend-based retracement, we could very easily see now 154, 164, 191 if it really rockets up. 191 would be a massive increase. It's not likely. The most likely scenario, if this trend holds true and there is a big rebound, we're looking at 154 to 164. Both scenarios would be good, having bought in. Even now, it's hovering around 120. Now would be, in my opinion, a great time to get in. This coin is not going to stay low for long, and this is on the hourly chart. And again, if you go back to daily, my chart's going to get all wonky, so bear with me. These uptrends and retracements are common. Let me clear all this stuff out of here. It gets a little weird. Uptrend, retracement, uptrend, retracement, uptrend, retracement. Traded sideways for a little bit. Newest uptrend, retracement. So with that being said, guys, I think this is another standard retracement. I think it's just a little bit bigger than before. Everything got a little bit more volatile because of the Coinbase listing. I think the volatility went up more than anything else. I think the retracement was going to happen, maybe just not as fast as it did and as harshly as it did, but the retracement was bound to happen. And I still think this is a great buy right here, right now. I think it's a great buy. Real quick, back on the hourly chart, there's one more thing I wanted to see, because I do believe it's a bit of a pattern. If you take, let's see, where can I draw this out at? I'm just going to highlight an area. We take from this peak here, and you take this whole little swing. It's very similar to what it's doing right now, just in a little bit of a longer time frame. The pattern is very similar, just a longer time frame. Again, past performance doesn't create or doesn't ensure future performance. It's all relative, but I think that's something that it's worth mentioning. It's a very similar pattern. Again, guys, I know I'm starting to ramble a little bit, but ADA, I think right now might be one of the best points to buy this for the most upswing, with great upswing potential in a short time period. So guys, that's my video for tonight. Like, subscribe, check out some of my other videos. My video from last night still applies for the whole weekend on the regular stock market reopening Monday morning, checking 2 stocks that are definitely worth taking a look at for the weekend watch if you're into the regular stock market as well. But guys, that's all I got for tonight. Thanks. See ya.